There have been so many changes with ChatGPT since it has rolled out that I thought it was time to create another beginner's video. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the ins and outs of ChatGPT, the many ways that you can get it, the many ways you can use it. We're going to talk about Chrome extensions and plugins and different ways to get the best output out of ChatGPT. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go right over to my screen, and I'm just going to bring myself on the screen with you guys. There we go. So starting from the first element here is how to get to ChatGPT, because people have said to me literally that nobody covers the basics of how to get to ChatGPT. So it was created by OpenAI at openai.com. So you can go to openai.com. The easiest way is to come up here and go to chat.openai.com. That's chat.openai.com. There are, as of today, at the time of making this video at the end of 2023, there are two versions. There's the 3.5 and the 4.0. The 3.5 is free, and the 4.0 is a paid version. I'm going to show you where that paid version comes in. At the time of making this video, the paid version is only $20 a month, so I had no problem upgrading myself, especially how much I use this tool. It definitely makes it worth it, but everybody can access it for free. There are other ways to access ChatGPT, and basically ChatGPT is a way for you to go to the web and communicate with this large language model. You can ask it to answer questions. You can ask it to teach you how to do something. You can ask it to write you a blog. You can ask it to do a video script. There's many things you can do with it. But you don't have to only do it here through ChatGPT. There are many other AI tools now that are powered by ChatGPT. So lots of people are now taking the ChatGPT element and they're putting it into their own software. And there's things like Chrome extensions that allow you to use ChatGPT. For example, on this bottom right here, you'll see I've got this little brain. When I click on there, it opens this sidebar. This sidebar is technically ChatGPT. So I'll show you. If I'm in ChatGPT down here and I say, give me a keto recipe for cheesecake, it's going to give me a recipe to make keto cheesecake. As you can see, on the right-hand side, I've got my little sidebar open. And if I did the same thing here, give me a keto recipe for cheesecake, you'll see that it has the ability to give me a recipe for cheesecake. Now, they're not going to all come out the same. And you might want to get specific by telling it how many portions you want to make or something like that. But today's not about recipes as much as it is about using the tools. However, let me show you a real key difference here. You might find that some of these extensions, and I'll show you how to get to them in a moment, or some of these third-party tools actually have more functionality than ChatGPT does in its current form. Okay, ChatGPT in its current form is pretty basic. It's not an editor. You can't go in here and add links and do all kinds of things with it. You can't even surf the web without adding additional extensions or plugins. They did give us that ability for a minute, and then they took it back away because of some privacy issues or whatnot. But you'll notice when you're running an extension, something like this one I have over here, look what happened at the bottom. It says right here, you can find this recipe with more details and variations at Chocolate Covered Cake. So it picked a recipe from the web, and it's even giving me the link there. Where this one just printed one, and it doesn't tell us the source. We don't really know where it gathered it all from. And it might have just been learning the language and giving, kind of summarizing them all and creating its own sort of a recipe. So you'll want to decide which tool you want to use for ChatGPT. There are a whole bunch of different apps for your phone, and they're all powered by this language model, this ChatGPT functionality, but they might have different costs. Now, there are ways to get more out of ChatGPT right here straight from the platform itself. And a couple of ways to do that are the extensions that I mentioned over here and then plugins. So first, let's cover the extensions. So extensions, these are Chrome extensions. So if you are working within Google Chrome, these extensions are going to add functionality. So you can just go over and Google ChatGPT Chrome extensions. If you know how to get to the Chrome store, you can just go to the Chrome store if you're already using extensions and just do a search for ChatGPT. But this works too. So I'll click in here and you can see that it's giving us an option here for ChatGPT. But if we go to the home page right up top, ChatGPT, there are literally, let's see how many there are. There are hundreds. There are hundreds and hundreds of ChatGPT extensions. I'm going to click on more extensions. Look at all of these. So these are not all created by this open AI that built ChatGPT, but they're all built on the functionality of ChatGPT. And it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on. So what a lot of us are doing on these YouTube channels is we are test driving a lot of these extensions, and we're showing you what we like, okay? The one that I showed you over here, this one on the side, this is called Cider. And let me see if I can find it up here in the Chrome store. I'll put a link in the description below. I'll put my referral link down there for you. I think it's called Cider. Right here. Cider, ChatGPT sidebar, GPT-4, draw, and web. And I'll give you an example of how powerful this extension is. This morning, I was playing around with using PDFs. And with regular ChatGPT, you can add what's called plugins, and I'll show you those in a second. And you can work with different tools like PDFs. But I find that this extension is much faster and cleaner. So if I click here on this PDF, it actually opens a sidebar. And look at this. Click or drag a file to this page to upload. And you can do as many as 50 PDFs per day. So just so that you get a real deal example, let me show you exactly how I was using this today. I made a new video. I'll go over here to YouTube. I made a new video this morning. I'm going to go over here to my channel, and it was a long video. It was an hour long. Here, and it's on the 19 ChatGPT prompts that are changing the blogging game. Okay. Now the transcript, if I use my extension to download the transcript of this video, it's too long to add to ChatGPT to do anything with. So for example, one of the things I teach on here is how to get these transcripts from these videos. And there's another extension, and if I click right here, this extension is called YouTube Summary. And if I click right here, it opens ChatGPT and it does all this extra added functionality, and it actually creates a whole written article for me about that video. So it gives me a title, it gives me meta description, or it just gives me a transcript if that's all I have running off of it at the time being. But it cuts off. You can see here, it cut off my video because it really only records about 20 minutes of the transcript. So what I did instead to bypass that, as I tested it this morning, and I said, well, I wonder if I go over here to the YouTube version. If I click here and I copy this whole transcript, so I'm going to click copy transcript. And then I open Google Docs. So let me open Google Docs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this document into a PDF and then watch what happens. So then I'm just going to, once it opens, I'm going to go ahead and paste that text here. Give it a second. Move that bubble over. Okay, now it should do it. There it goes. Okay, so now I've got the whole thing. See here at the bottom, thanks for joining me today. So you look how long this script is. It's an hour-long script. So then I take the whole thing and I'm going to go up here to File, and I'm going to go to Download PDF Document, and I'm going to save this as a PDF document. Okay, so I'm just going to do YouTube script, put it in my documents. There you go. Now watch what I can do. I come over here to Cider, which is powered by ChatGPT. I click on PDF and I grab the PDF that we just did and I click open. Now you can work within this PDF because it can now read the entire PDF and you're going to be able to create things from this PDF. Now here's some examples. What is one of the prompts mentioned in the article for bloggers and content creators? How can ChatGPT help in creating a bio for a blog? It's reading my PDF and it's making suggestions. But I'm actually going to say here instead is I'm going to say, give me a list of the 19 prompts mentioned in this transcript. Now it actually prints me a beautiful, clean list of the 19 prompts that are listed here. Okay. Now, if I wanted to, I could say elaborate on each and tell me what the prompt does. And now I can get it to expand on this and it tells me what each of these prompts are. Now, what I was able to do with this after that is I was able to go over to my video and I was able to make a list of all these prompts for people to use. And then I said, add timestamps, and it knew from my transcript in the PDF where all of those prompts were being shown. So I was able to put the timestamps in there. So anyway, the point is that using this Chrome extension, rather than using ChatGPT in its native form, I'm able to get additional functionality. So what I think is really important today for the people that are using ChatGPT is if you're using Chrome, go play with some of these free extensions. Some are free, some are paid, some are free with paid add-ons, right? But you can do so much more than just with straight ChatGPT. That being said, if you are using ChatGPT, and let's just say you're using this free one, so you're not using plugins, you're not using internet, you can still get some really powerful things out of ChatGPT. So for example, you could say, give me a list of 99 things people don't know about the keto diet. I'll stay with the keto diet for a minute. Okay. Now, what can I do with a list like that? Well, if I'm a blogger, I can now go create a topic cluster and I can make a list of 99 things people don't know about the keto diet. And then each one of those items I can write a blog on if I wanted to. So for example, I think I just saw something about, let me pick one of these. All right, keto may contribute to better control of blood sugar levels. Actually, let me do one that's a little less medical. So nut butters like almond and macadamia nut can provide healthy fat. So watch this. Now I can go down here and very conversationally, I can just ask ChatGPT to give me an article based on the keto diet and I'm just going to paste in that suggestion. Nut butters like almond and macadamia nut can provide healthy fats. I'm going to say, give me a clickbait title. Now, when I say give me a clickbait title, it's not really making a clickbait. I've just learned that for some reason, giving ChatGPT that specific instruction makes the title better. So I'm going to say, give me a clickbait title, a meta description, and include a FAQ. And now I'm going to tell it to use markdown language because that's where it usually will give you the proper heading and subheadings. So then I'm going to hit enter. And now watch what it does. It will actually write the entire article for you. So if you're a blogger, you could take this list of 99 things to do and then spin each one of those off into an article, creating a topic cluster. Okay. Now on my videos, I teach you how to get a better article out of this in the long run. This is just a really simple, short article, but I just kind of want to give you an example. You can also say, give me 10 more title ideas for this article, and it'll give you 10 more title ideas. And then with those titles or headlines, you could say, have them start with a number or create urgency or add emotion or any of those types of things. So clearly, if you're a content creator of any kind, you can use ChatGPT to help create content without the plugins, without all the extensions, okay? You can say, pretend You are a real estate agent. Teach me how to buy a house. Let's pretend that's a skill or some. So you're wanting to buy a house. It can tell you all of these things that you need to know about buying a house. I'm new in the kitchen. Teach me how to make homemade pasta. Okay, so now it's teaching you how to make homemade pasta. You could say, I need to lose 10 pounds. How can I do that? And let's see what it says. You just ask it any question. So it tells you to set realistic goals, eat a balanced diet, regular exercise, mindful eating. And then you can ask it to elaborate on any one of those items, right? Which exercises, you don't even have to spell it right, are best for someone with a lifestyle that is sedentary. So not active at all, right? Very lazy. So then it'll tell you which ones to do. So then you could say, if it says walking, and that actually, then we could say, create a 4-week exercise plan. I'll work out for 1 hour per day. And now it'll create you a 1-hour plan, right? So it can help you create a business plan, a financial plan. It can teach you skills. It can create a calendar of sorts. It can create a checklist. I'm packing for a cruise to Alaska. What should I bring with me? Warm layers, waterproof jacket, waterproof pants, jeans, gloves, walking shoes, travel documents. Can you make this a checklist? Question mark. Look at this. And there's the actual checklist. So you can print that out and then go pack each one of those things, right? So there's just, it's limitless on what it can do. And this is without the additions. But the additions will make it better and will have it do more things. Now, if you go down here on the left side, what you're going to see here, these are all of the conversations that these are the chats that I'm having with ChatGPT. Now we have the ability to actually share these chats, and you're going to see more and more options as it rolls out new updates on what we can do with these on the left-hand side. But if I go down here and click on these 3 dots, right by my picture there, we've got information about my plan. We've got something new called custom instructions. And this is where you're able to customize your instructions with ChatGPT by providing specific details and guidelines for your chats. Whenever you edit your custom instructions, they'll take effect in all new chats. Then you can click OK. So here you can put how you want ChatGPT to respond. So you might want it to respond. So it says here, formal or casual. So you could say respond casual, use long form responses, call me Lori. Should ChatGPT have opinions on topics or remain neutral? You could tell it to have opinions. Whatever it is that you want to instruct ChatGPT to do, you can test these, and then every time you run it, these are the items it's gonna use to respond. Up here it says, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? So you could say, I'm in Las Vegas. I'm a real estate agent. Anything you want so that it has more context to how you might write or how you might create. So I could even say here, be sarcastic or be funny or write in the tone of, those types of things. And then click save. Then the next time you write, you can say, what is ChatGPT? Now when it responds, it's going to use your written instructions. See what it says? Hey, Lori. So remember we said to call me Lori. And then it's talking about ChatGPT, but it's using a more casual tone. See where it says it's pretty amazing how technology has evolved. It's only giving me that tone because I said be casual. So the more you play down here with those custom instructions, the better your output's going to be tailored to you. So think about things like tone of voice And I could say, let me actually, now that I said that, let me see if it will do. I'm going to put custom instructions and I'm going to say use markdown language. Let me see if that changes anything. So new chat. What is YouTube? No, it didn't do it there. I'd have to play around with that a little bit more then. Okay, so anyway, it's telling us what YouTube is. Write an article about YouTube. There we go. There's the markdown language. So markdown language is when your blog has the appropriate heading and subheadings. Sometimes if you ask ChatGPT just to write you an article, it doesn't know to create those titles and those subheadings like that. So I learned a while ago that if you say use markdown language, which literally looks like this, use markdown language, it'll write it like a more appropriate article. Another tip I have for you when you're playing with ChatGPT is ask it to elaborate. So for example, if you get an article out of here and you are blogging and it gives you a short article, you can ask it to elaborate. So for example, I'm going to say, what are creators using YouTube for to make money? See how casual that is? That's not even a proper sentence. Okay, so then it's saying ad revenue. Okay, so it's saying YouTubers are using the channel for ad revenue. So now I'm going to tell it to elaborate. And I'm going to put elaborate on number 1. So you see how short it is? Just a tiny little blurb. But now watch. Elaborate on number 1. Now it's giving you this whole section on ad revenue, the basics, factors influencing ad revenue, maximizing ad revenue. So I can get a much better article, a much more helpful, valuable article if I ask ChatGPT to elaborate on specific portions of the article. And then when I'm in my WordPress blog or whatever editor I'm using, I can just copy this by sections and kind of stitch that article together more appropriately. So whether I'm using this over here, Cider, or I'm using ChatGPT, we can get these types of results out of there. I can say, add a FAQ about YouTube, and it will create an appropriately formatted, there you go, fact about YouTube. I can say, give me a table, and in the first column, list a YouTube feature, and in the second column, explain what it does. And now we can get ChatGPT to create us a table that we could use. And those tables are copy and pastable to an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet or any of those types of things. Let me move my face back over there. Okay. Getting the idea there. Now let's talk about, so if we go back to these 3 dots, we went over custom instructions. Now let's go to settings. And as you can see here, we have clear all chats. If you click that button, all of your chats are going to disappear on that left-hand side. If we go to beta features, this is where we can turn on plugin. And code interpreter I turned on, but I have not even begun messing with that right now. It's another new feature, and a lot of coders are using that. But you turn on plugins, but you only can do plugins if you have the paid version of 4.0. And I'll show you what those are in just a second. Then you have data controls. So these data controls will allow you to share links. It will links to your messages. It will allow you to export data, or it will allow you to delete your whole account. So pay attention to these settings, because when they roll out their new versions of ChatGPT, we often get these new things down here that we have abilities to play with. This is new here. ChatGPT is now giving these suggestions. Look at this. Design a database schema for an online merchant store. Brainstorm incentives for a customer loyalty program at a small bookstore. They're showing you all these incredible prompts examples. Recommend activities for team building day with remote employees. Write a text message asking my friend to be a +1 at a wedding. So if you click there, it does that. Look at how it even creates the emojis. Isn't that cute? So as you go along, you'll see these new suggestions of things that you can do. Okay, so now it's giving us a virtual team building And then you could say, give me 10 more, and it will elaborate and give you a bunch more that you can use. So those are that's a cool new feature that they rolled out recently. And I'm kind of seeing those kind of coming and going as they're playing with it. But then up here, you see your message. You see you can edit it. You can put it in the trash. And actually right now, I'm not seeing this share link. There's an ability to share those messages. So again, sometimes when we're playing with these, let me go to 4.0. See if there's any differences there. New chat, 4.0. Come up with concepts for an arcade game. Okay, so today I'm not seeing this ability to share these, but in the past, recent, we were able to hover over here and get a share that link, and then we were able to share our chat with somebody else. So that'll probably come back. It's just gone right now for some reason. So then moving on to plugins. What plugins are is they function similar, but not the same, to these Chrome extensions. So I showed you go over to the Chrome store, and there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Chrome extensions that add different functionality to ChatGPT. With plugins, they are actually part of ChatGPT. So all you have to do is click on a new chat, go to 4.0, and kind of just hover over 4.0. And then you see here that we have code interpreter and we have plugins. Click on plugins, and then you'll see what plugins you have installed and enabled. Prompt Perfect, What's Trending, Web Pilot, Video Insights. These are some things that I'm using to add functionality to ChatGPT. So Web Pilot actually allows you to surf the web. It does a bunch of other things. But for example, you can see I have it enabled, so it's checked off here. Now I can say, find me 3 articles related to losing weight with the keto diet. Now you'll see it's going to, whoops, authorization error with the plugins. So we'll do it again. Plugins. Give me 3 articles related to the keto diet. And I'll be coming back and breaking each one of these plugins down individually. That's why, because it, aha. Let's see if those shares come back now. Nope, still not there. Okay, so now we've got it. ChatGPT 4 plugins enabled. Let's try this one more time. Give me 3 articles related to the keto diet. Now it's working. Okay, so it's way slower than Chrome extensions. Chrome extensions operate much faster than these plugins that are within here. So these are free, and they're being provided by a third-party software developer. So Web Pilot was not created by ChatGPT. It was created by somebody else. But you can see here that it actually did go scour the web, and these are live links. So it goes out there and brings in these 3 articles. Now, something you can follow up on is once these articles have kind of been dropped in there, you can say, give me the H2 and H3 headings from these articles. This is just an example of how these plugins add functionality, okay? So there are plugins that will let you book flights. There are plugins that will help analyze YouTube videos. There are plugins that work with Zapier to help automate processes off your Google Sheets and things like that. There's all kinds of different plugins. Now, right now, these plugins are kind of hit and miss, and there is a plugin store. You would go up here, you would go to plugins. And now I don't see the plugin store. That's another thing that seems to be missing right now. Okay, so again, hit and miss on that. let me see if I can get here, ChatGPT plugin store. Let me see if there's a direct link I can get to. Well, this is probably going to tell us which ones are in there. So this tells us about, so some examples are Expedia, Fiscal Note, Instacart, Kayak, Shop, Open Table, Zapier. This is another one I've seen a lot of people using lately. This Wolframe, is it called? Family app, Speaks. You can do voice to chat, shopping. So you can play around with these various ChatGPT plugins in the plugin store. And again, you have to have it activated down at the bottom, settings and beta features, plugins are on. Let me see if it'll let me get there now. That's so weird. No plugins enabled. Yeah, I'm not able to get to the plugin store right now. So sometimes you'll get there and sometimes you won't, because obviously we don't have our ability to get in there right now, but you can play around with those. I still love Chrome extensions more. Some other examples would be, I showed you the YouTube one where we went over to YouTube and we clicked that little button on the side, and it, no matter what video you're looking at, it will it'll transcribe it for you, whether it's yours or somebody else's. This is that one up there. So lots of different Chrome extensions that you can run specifically for ChatGPT. Okay. So that's the basic summary today. I wanted to make sure that you had some abilities there to start to use ChatGPT, and I will come back on and break down a bunch of those other plugins and extensions for you.